Hello everyone, welcome to the Numbers Aren't Real podcast. This episode is the second part of the previous one where we talked to two members of Team Kinetic Energy Robotics, Daniel and Tony. They competed with their robot Jasper in the recent Games of the Future competition and have previously competed in several other robot fighting competitions. In this episode, we'll talk more about the Games of the Future event as well as what lies ahead for the team. Hope you enjoy and thank you for listening. Yeah, it was very cool to just see them being flung around as well. To see that power in those robots, in the lifters and stuff,
and it's
and
the control
as well.
It's the power and the control, the ability of the drivers and the robots to react and turn, and even sometimes handle or not handle the gyroscopic effects that are associated, all the physics that are involved in the robots. Obviously we came in with a sportsman, so we don't have a spinning weapon, so we don't have gyro, although you can make the robot dance.
Yeah, that's true.
As the announcers and commentators did take great glee in your little celebrated dance.
What gives a victory if you don't have a dance?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, how did you guys feel about when you got the email?
It was like, okay, if it had been sent by anyone other than Alan, I would have been, you're messing with me.
Yeah,
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. I think you phoned me because he was up in Shetland when he got that email, and he was like, right, this is the situation. Alan's asked you if you want to come to Abu Dhabi, compete in this tournament, and it was basically right. Let's rearrange our schedules and all that to make this happen.
Because just a little bit.
Because you were given a very short period of time.
It was. I think 3 weeks or something before the robot got put into its crate.
And for one of those weeks, I was still at work.
Yeah.
So we ended up with 2 weeks to work on a robot, which effectively we'd finished 2025.
Yeah, he was done for the season. We didn't intend to do anything with it till maybe a few months from now.
Yeah. Jasper was unceremoniously just parked up in the workshop. That was it, right? We're going to have Christmas, New Year. We'll think about 2026 season as and when events
Which
get
was
announced.
like March at the earliest.
Yeah, but we've got plenty of time. Forget about that. Right now it's Christmas. It's everything else that's on. And I've got work, and then to suddenly have something like that just drop on your lap, and it's like, wow. Okay, this is a bit surreal. Are we doing this? Yes, we can do it. Are we going to do it? Yes, we let's do it. And the turnaround in not only getting a crate for international air shipping, turning around all the paperwork, which you guys will know. There's a lot of paperwork.
Once again, asking for your passport number.
Sorry, did we not ask you for your passport number?
Again.
But it all came together. In a way, I'm kind of glad it was so short notice. Had it been drawn out for longer, might have tinkered a bit more. But sometimes you can over tinker or over engineer things, or you can
change things for the sake of changing.
Yes, I'm glad that it was so last minute and short. Is that it gave me enough time when I did get home to fabricate you some new forks.
Yeah.
You went and busted them and gave
that
one
wasn't
away.
me. That was Cobalt. It was Cobalt's fault.
And the front end will need a little bit of work, but it was fine. When we came out of the second fight, if we needed to, we had everything there. We had enough people there. We had enough materials. We could have turned around Jasper in 90 minutes if we needed to. We could have gone fighting again, which is reassuring, having just been in a full combat event, and even looking at Jasper now. We've got some of the parts out of the crate. They make some nice trophies.
It's like day one, and obviously they do the whole bracket announcement and who's fighting who. And I think it was one of you that turned to me. I think maybe both of you, and because obviously you guys didn't know who Monsoon were.
Yeah.
And you were just like, is that good or bad?
Yeah.
And for lack of error, I was like, that was awful. Like they were going into the whole tournament. They were my pick to win the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. And rightfully so. They're the UK's reigning spinner champion.
Yeah.
Yes, that's only 125 mile an hour. But Monsoon was built for 250 miles an hour.
Yeah,
they had to scale it down for the UK scene. They've gone over to BattleBots in America. They've had experience competing on Robot Wars in the UK as well. It's like there was few robots, especially not being as aware of the kind of Eastern robot scene, especially for their heavyweights. It was like they were like my shoe-in pick to just sweep the whole thing. And for them so to then get drawn against them round one. Fight. Was a bit of a, oh god, Jasper is going home in pieces.
But also quite...
But then also no pressure. Because it was like, we're expected to lose here. I got a bunch of messages the night before from people within the robot community basically going, good luck.
Well, anyway, at least you've got a track.
And we definitely had a bit of luck.
Well, I mean, the first fight went completely different to how you expected.
Yeah.
Yes. We better explain to everybody what happened.
Yeah.
So Jasper goes in with its default setup. We've got our long forks on, wedgies, lifting arm, all reliable. Because Monsoon's an awkward opponent. This big spinner. They run either way up. At the time choosing our setup, I did not know that they could get pinned in such a specific position. I thought like they could get down from like any... like where we put them. The only way we could knock them out would be by getting them over the arena wall, like into the outer zone. Like that was our like one hope. And we thought, well, long forks and all that will at least keep them away. We're playing a game of keep away and hope to get a lucky shot. Or we're just trying to survive for 3 minutes, which we thought was quite unlikely.
And they got
Monsoon.
One good
hit. They did get a very good hit on the side of Jasper.
On the titanium, my lad.
Hold up that bit.
Oh yes. This bit here.
Yeah, there used to be a bit of Jasper in here.
And there used to be a bit of titanium there. Similar to this one.
Yeah, there used to be one of those there.
But it did its job.
Yeah, the titanium managed to deflect their blow into the plastic. Luckily, behind the titanium where's the motor sitting for the weapon, so managed to deflect it away from that. Now that this event's all done, this bit of armor is not getting run again, so we got a bunch of the team to sign it for us, which is very nice of them.
Yeah. Which is something
it'll go up on the wall.
This will join the shirts.
I really liked that tradition of if you take a piece off a robot, we'll sign it and give it to you as like a trophy.
Yep.
That was very, very nice.
So we go, and for our fight with Monsoon, we know we're probably not going to win. Which also takes the pressure off of, right, we're not expected to do anything here. Let's just send it. So we go, looking at the front of Monsoon, they put on a new fork setup, which was not specifically to counter us, but was the right choice for us. They have 2 long forks in the middle, which feed into their weapon. They've also got 2 short forks on the side of the robot for kind of keeping us at bay. It's like if we get around the side of them, they still have a chance of getting under us and then just turning their weapon into us.
Yeah.
It also meant when we did full send at the front of them, we planned to almost kind of sidestep at least their big forks in a way that Jasper's forks are like this, their forks are like this. We're kind of we ended up kind of locking together. So we go head to head, lock together. Their weapon was just out of range of us. Ours was just out of range of them. So then we back off, and then we like charge at each other again, and we get locked up again. And it was just bringing the fight closer and closer to where me and obviously the Monsoon team are standing. And it's like we're just playing this almost very... It felt like the fight went on longer than it did. Because we were just going almost like slow little movements of like, I'm going one way, so then they counter by going the other way. And knowing that if you just overturn it or overdrive by a little bit, they were getting straight under us and getting to all Jasper's guts.
Yeah.
So
and you just turn and try and get out of the way to read.
Yeah. So there was a lot. Of like engagement. If they'd maybe just gone at us a wee bit faster, they could have got under us, or just been a little less tentative, like a bit more aggressive. They probably would have got to our weapon. But yeah. So there was a lot of that, and then we kind of separate. We're just trying to dance around each other, find an opening. That's when they hit the side of Jasper, put a hole in him. But then somehow they back off. We try to start chasing them down again, and in doing so, they turn to face us. And the gyro effect of their weapon, obviously, it's a massive bar spinning vertically of like 250 mile an hour. When they turn, it picks up
turn into you.
The side of their robot, the outside side lifts up, and then somehow, some way, it just goes fully over onto the face of Monsoon. Their weapon's not touching the ground, so it can't like fire itself like just across the arena to get back up.
It's now
sitting on the forks that they put on to keep us away.
Somehow perfectly balancing on
and it's two massive wheels which did not fly off as the commentary decided that that's how they lost. But here we are. The wheels off the ground, and somehow it was perfectly balanced on that one position. They were even accelerating the weapon up and then slowing it down and accelerating it up again to try and shake the robot. And it was so close to doing it. You could see it just going da 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 da, but it just couldn't get back.
And
down.
you backed off. You did your dance, but you kept it subdued. Not because
normally Jasper's victory dancing is Jasper doing a full on spin, and we fire the weapon back as it's spinning, and it manages to ironically gyro in a way where it's picks up whichever side. It can go bang 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 kind of thing. It was very much a spin, wave the arm at him, and then stop. We don't want to hit the ground.
You don't want to shake.
We don't want to shake him down.
After a subsequently short break, coming in straight away for the action, we do see them clashing. There's that vertical spinner employed there. Oh my god, it's just knocking him around. There's no way Team Monsoon is throwing kinetic energy like that. Oh my god, some sparks already. Oh no, Monsoon. Have they been flipped around? No way! That's the victory.
Can't believe this. We'll just take this.
It was
and I mean,
it was very fluky. We could not have done that twice. I say we couldn't have done this. It wasn't us that did it to them. It was just unfortunately they just turned too fast. When trying to square up with us again.
And in terms of scoring, that obviously counts as a knockout because they can't.
They can't move. It's it.
What a perfect way to start for our tournament, which catapults us straight into the last 8 from being the round of 16. So you're straight into the quarterfinals.
And it's Monsoon was my pick to win the entire thing. However, there's a little robot called Cobalt, and while they weren't my favourite to pick the whole thing, they are arguably just in the weapon department. If that thing gets a hold of you,
so destructive.
Could potentially be the most singularly destructive weapon there. And we're drawn up against them. And it's if Monsoon got ground game, Cobalt got ground game plus. Because they've got these two massive forks on the front, just like Jasper. But then anywhere that isn't covered by those two forks have these little wedgelets, which are spring loaded. So this one obviously was ripped off a few years ago, and then we bought it on eBay. This is not one of the ones that was within that fight, but basically they're spring loaded to the ground, so
they're compliant to the ground.
Even if we get under their long forks, we can't get under these, which are almost like a secondary defense. We did find that again where there was no pressure here. We're now way further than we thought. We're just gonna charge at them, and as long as we keep face to face, we hopefully don't take that much damage. I say now looking at these wedges, which are slightly damaged.
I wouldn't say that was that much damage,
Yeah. Considering, yeah.
Do you still have a robot? Yes.
Does it fully work?
Yes.
So it was again also Cobalt. Their driver Matt Olson is insane. He's known for taking robots that you wouldn't think would get as far as they end up doing with him. It just seems any robot he goes to, dramatic performance increase.
And he's
to now see him driving a robot which arguably could already win it all if under the right circumstances. Seeing it with him now, it was oh god, we're going to get outdriven here because Jasper is fast for a UK sportsman. In this field of modern day spinners, we looked a bit sluggish in a way. It's not Jasper being slow, it's just them being insanely faster, especially robots like Deep Sea Shark, Godspeed. It's in the name, Godspeed. They're insanely fast. Cobalt as well, faster than Jasper. So it was going against them. They could just sit in the middle of the arena and turret.
Yeah. Which they did for a bit.
Yeah, they did
Which
turret.
is sensible.
Which is, it's like we don't have a weapon that threatens them.
Yeah.
In a way, unless we did flip them over, then it's like a question of can they self-right with that weapon being on top. They're not invertible like Monsoon is. But we've got to get past their ground game.
Yeah.
And, Cobalt, very difficult to get around in the first place. With Matt driving it, it was like no chance.
And we saw his performance, especially in like the later fights as well.
Yep.
Very.
Well, we saw what they did to. What they did to Condor Machine. First fight.
Yeah. I'm going to pick this bit up now because that's a nice little segue into their first match, which was Cobalt versus Condor Machine from Chile, all the way from Chile. And it's a lovely bit of machined CNC'd aluminium. This was part of a far larger piece that Cobalt decided to remove.
Turn into aluminium confetti.
Yes, when this has to be at least about 22 millimeters thickness, and when I show you the back end here, that is solid aluminium that's been just literally destroyed.
To begin the 3 minutes as it starts ticking down already. They're evading each other, not one in contact until now, and we're only going to underneath the front. Oh my god! Bumping it straight, clapping it upside down. That is over for Chile already.
And this is the small bit. You should have seen the rest.
Seeing that happen to Condor, a machine made like professionally machined aluminium chassis, and then looking at Jasper, which is majority made of plastic.
Yes.
We were like, that weapon will...
Ultra high molecular weight polyethylene and high density polyethylene.
Yeah. So plastic. It's got nothing on aluminium in terms of strength, and then especially Hardox or Armox, whichever you choose. We knew Jasper, if we weren't hitting them head on, they were going to hit something that will just shred.
Yeah.
So it was going head to head with them. We found out pretty early that we actually could get under their long forks. It was the spring-loaded wedgelets, which were countering us because we would get under their long forks, even to the point where we managed to get one of their long forks to flick back. And it had enough flex into it that it fed itself into its own weapon. So it got shredded off, fired off into the void.
We did damage by default.
Yeah, we managed to feed one of their forks into our own weapon. However, unfortunately, the other long fork was still there. And the long forks almost got in the way for them in a way, where they were just keeping us at arm's length. So kind of saving us in a way. Yeah. But we couldn't get under the just rows of piano wedgelets. It's like... couldn't get around the front of them. We don't want to turn and try and get around the back of them because as soon as we expose the side of Jasper to try and like run around them, we know they're just going to charge in and rip Jasper apart. So it was like a minute of just going head to head, just hoping for just once to get under them. And it's like Jasper's taking damage like for the whole thing, where it's like we just start to see one of the forks start to bend under itself. There was originally 2 forks here, one on this side. There would be one on that side. That one's now in America with Team Cobalt because they not only bent it, they somehow twisted the entire thing.
Yes,
and it was mounted on this. That's made of Hardox.
It's made of Armox, armor plating steel. Armor plating steel, and this is how it was originally mounted.
Yeah, it's been flat packed for us, which is very nice of them.
That's not the original shape. I'd like to point out that the original shape should be a little bit more like this kind of thing, but it is definitely flat packed. That is a great big hole punched by Cobalt.
Yep.
Along with that bit there, and this is Armox plating steel, the same stuff that you would get on fighting vehicles, infantry fighting vehicles, tanks, obviously a lot thicker on tanks. Yeah. Hardox is on bulldozers, but that just Cobalt just ripped that out as if it was just like
It's
little
like
bits
It
of
only
balsa.
took like once they got past our forks, and by past I mean ripping them both off and firing them into the ceiling.
Yeah.
They did. As soon as they got to the Armox, they were just shredding for it. So it begs the question: what would they have done if they got to anywhere else on Jasper? They managed to then rip a side panel off of us. Luckily, missing everything important. They ripped the panel off.
Just the panel.
However, they missed the drive belts, the
What do you mean,
wheels, the motors.
This panel.
Yeah, they ripped that one off.
Ripped this one off, which is
in surprisingly good condition.
it's remarkably, and if it wasn't for the fact that you want to keep it, you could go on eBay. But
No, it's going back on Jasper next year for.
yeah, we're just going
Sportsman.
to buff that out a little bit. This is my famous titanium plates, which went 2 years without being scratched.
Until Cobalt.
Until
And
now,
Hawksey.
yeah, this one is from this side, and you can just see the tiny little nick and a little bit. That'll buff out. That'll be all right.
And then Jasper's fight with Cobalt. We in the last hit of the fight, Cobalt managed to flip us over. And we somehow Jasper self-right. Weapon still
Well,
works.
no, I think you did that. You functioned them, and Jasper was still fully drive it.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean Jasper is fully working, which
Jasper
was a
is fully
surprise
working.
from the amount of
Yes.
hits it had taken.
Yeah.
We thought, at least, especially with the side panel being ripped off before,
Yeah.
we thought, oh, maybe that motor has been hit.
No.
As soon as you do fire it, it could just go up in smoke on
I
that
can
side.
see parts cracking. I can see. I can
there
see
it is again.
back to back.
Jasper,
He
wait,
gets
they're
led by
back on
his
their
back
feet.
to the feet, baby.
But it didn't. It managed to pick itself back up. Unfortunately, there had been an arena breach where one of Jasper's forks being ripped off by Cobalt
The other one.
had put a hole in the
straight through.
ceiling.
Yeah, a pretty big hole.
Pretty big hole,
Yes.
yeah.
There is a photo of
fortunately,
that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you'll probably show the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately, at that point, the majority of the safety issues have been addressed. There was no audience in the room. There was the only people around the arena was myself, the Cobalt drivers, and then the ref.
Yeah.
Even the judges and all that were not there.
Yeah.
And we were standing in basically just polycarb boxes now at the side of the arena.
And us three were miles away.
Yeah.
In a,
Watching
in a
another-
secret bunker.
In a secret bunker, watching from TV.
Yeah.
But so at that point, obviously the arena is breached, and then fight gets called there. Fortunately for Jasper, like at that point we lost our forks, which kind of removed any offensive capability. We were then given the option to either continue the fight or tap out. We were like, right, we've got no offensive option left. We can't really do anything to them. We'd just be taking damage for the sake of it.
Yeah.
We're just going to tap out. Which left Jasper, whilst having the wedgies and all that beaten up, still fully functional. There's a wedge next to Mao in there that we're going to chop up to make some new.
That's
fork
going to be the new
pods.
front end. I'll make some new forks.
It'll be good as new in for 2026.
We know that I can fabricate some forks really quickly when I get the material.
Yeah.
I will be back again for 2026.
Cobalt then goes on to finish second in the whole
Yes.
competition, which makes the loss more respectable, because as soon as you lose to someone, you want them to go all the way. Because then it makes losing to them not look bad. Not that losing to Cobalt would ever look bad. They are like just
even
an
stepping
insanely
in the
good
arena.
machine. But to then see them go through Godspeed and then lose to just the monster that was
And
Deep Sea
even
Shark.
then, that fight was intense.
Amazing.
Like they
Both
put up such a
3-minute
great
brawl.
fight. Yeah, that was crazy.
Right now, Cobalt fending off. This has been the longest finals here. Both of them still winding down that timer. Plus music playing in the background. The That's Deep Sea Shark.
And the fights were building up, like you'd already alluded to earlier, that a lot of the fights at the beginning in the round 16, they were over really, really quickly.
Yeah. Like 10 seconds max.
20 seconds for Jasper, obviously, you know,
of course.
20 seconds, because, why do it in 10? But the fight with versus Cobalt, that was a big hit. I'd say thank you very much to team from Chile, Condor Machine.
Yeah.
Really nice of them to actually give a part to Daniel to add to your collection.
Yeah. Also, just very nice team in general. Very enthusiastic as well.
Very nice team.
I think that was their second event ever.
Second event.
And they were just straight into it, like, let's go. They weren't worried about being drawn up against Cobalt first.
No.
And then they get drawn up because in our corner of the bracket, they get drawn up against Monsoon for their losers fight. And they send it in again. And they managed to do the thing to Monsoon again. They take the first hit, and then Monsoon just gets pivoted up onto that one angle again, and
minus the forks this time.
Yeah, minus the forks. It was the weapon dug into the floor.
So
this time
even more stuck.
Yeah, which is insane. And
but that was their first
Condor
win,
Machine.
right?
Condor Machine earned that win.
That was their second event and their first ever win. And to come back from, quite frankly, it was quite a mauling from Cobalt on the first fight. You know, to come back for the second fight and to win that bit of redemption, and to end
even
up
before
in
the event, they turned up with the robot in suitcases.
Yes,
it was like they were soldering that everything in that robot together. Maybe like an hour before their fight with Cobalt, and they get it all together. The robot is looking good. It's complete. It looks just ready to go, and going from a state of like just a pile of parts to full complete heavyweight spinner. Let's send it at Cobalt. Cobalt does a Cobalt thing where it just shreds the side of it, and they go right. You could rebuild it again. I would not have blamed them if they just went, game over there. That's we've seen what's happened. No, they go straight back to it. Condor then looks brand new again to then go fight Monsoon, and then they get a victory. Which deserved just purely on the amount of effort they put in to get Condor ready and then rebuild and then get drawn up against another vicious spinner.
It was quite surreal, you know, given how little that we had to do. You know, obviously with Jasper being shipped out the crate and literally just having to add on or just put the pins in for the front end and put the batteries inside it. How little work we had to do in comparison. It was. I was in awe just watching them, and I had a lot of time to watch them. And in between
a lot
fights,
of the teams as well coming to that event with the robots like in their suitcases, because I imagine they probably couldn't get them shipped out in time because there was a very late call up. At least for us, I'd imagine maybe the same for quite a few teams. So it's like not ship the robot. Take it in your suitcases because you're still building it by the time like shipping dates get announced and all that. So,
but huge respect to Team Condor from Chile, with Condor Machine. Lovely people. We were really blessed where we were in the pits because we were surrounded by teams. We were in the center, but not center. But we out of the 16 teams, we had 8 teams around us. We had both the teams from India. We had the team from Belarus. We had the team from Russia. We had the team from Chile.
Team from Belgium.
Belgium. Yeah, our
we
friends.
spent many an hour in the bar with them.
In the Belgian bar.
The Belgian bar.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
And we had the winners. Fierce Rock team with Deep Sea Shark. And we also had
Team
Spitfire from
the UK.
From the UK, yes.
Nice to see Spitfire exist.
Yes.
Because it used to be Ironside free in Robot Wars. Then it applied to BattleBots, I think, in 2020. But then that was the COVID season, so they never got to go across. Now getting to see it in person, that bar.
Didn't get to see the Self-Rider though.
No, that bar is massive on the front of Spitfire. It's like seeing that spin up for the first time. I was like, wow, that looks powerful. And then it was seeing, was it
the shape of
Deep Sea Shark was their first opponent, which is a brutal draw. And then seeing what Deep Sea Shark did to that bar,
folded it up.
It's like
it
that
literally
bar
went like
is
that.
More armor in a way than anything on Jasper, and it got just bent in just one shot, bang. there you go. There's your weapon gone.
Yet again,
but then
another team that turned it round for their redemption, their second fight, to fight it out in the bottom bracket of 8.
They fought Zadkill, which again is a brutal drive for 2 fights in a row. And they put up a very good fight in that one. Unfortunately, reliability caught up to them, which I imagine was just damage from the first fight related.
Well, the amount of damage that was done.
Zadkill was doing damage to them as well. But
the amount of damage that was taken in that first fight, I had a great pleasure just helping out a little bit with the team behind Spitfire, and just even turning that chassis around. That chassis was twisted and warped in places that you wouldn't imagine. The bar was horrendously damaged, but everything that from the weapon back the way, all the mounts, the bearings, the shafts, everything was just literally pulled on that machine. And an amazing turnaround to get it for the redemption.
They were working
fight.
very hard throughout the entire period of when they were in the garage.
And quite a lot of time I felt, it was a bit surreal for us, not having to do very much, quite frankly.
We were very, very fortunate with the damage Jasper took.
Yeah.
Credit to you for just getting all those spare parts ready to go and designing them in a way that they're very just swappable.
Yes.
It's like Monsoon puts the hole in the side panel.
Yeah.
Take a few screws and bolts out, slap a whole new side on. Cobalt then gets the other side, and if we needed to, we could have just slapped another one on.
We could have gone. I'm telling you,
ran again.
90 minutes. I would have done a tire change. Not that you needed a tire change.
No,
we did not go through a single tire.
One thing I love about Abu Dhabi, the floor in that arena was great fun to run on. Not being wood, it just didn't do as much as a number on the tires.
Yeah.
Fortunately, all of our opponents missed them as well. If Monsoon or Cobalt got to the tires,
they tried.
Proper confetti.
They tried, but the sides did the job. You managed to turn away from them and keep it pointing in the right direction. Put all the heavy metal front end, feed that into them.
Yep.
Or just have a standoff where it's fork to fork and a little bit of a push and shove, around the arena.
I wish we got to do was it 5th through 8th? I wish we got to play off.
That would have been
against each other, because I think we would have drawn Ignition.
Yes.
Which would have been Jasper couldn't have run the lifter by then, I don't think, because the fork pot's being ripped up.
Oh, but we had alternates.
However, we would have gotten to debut the claw arm.
Oh, we didn't get
with the big wedge.
Yeah,
that
big wedge.
That would have been a fun try. Getting to send an opponent with no disrespect to Ignition, great robot.
Yeah.
It's not a spinner though. It's like we would not have the fear of one misstep gets your robot shredded into a million pieces.
That's a bit more familiar ground though.
Yeah, it's
UK
familiar
fighting
from the UK sportsmen. We get to fight each other, just no fear in a way. Just charge, hit them. If they get you, oh well, flip yourself back over and charge again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is one thing I do love about the UK sportsman scene, compared to the hyper competitive spinners, is you can just go. Send it.
You'll be very
send
aggressive.
it, and the worst that can happen is maybe you scuff a few bits, and you can just buff that out and go again. Sharpen the forks.
Most of the time, that's what most of the time I
spend.
See
that,
is
and
sharpening.
And then every time you get drawn against an axe, you fear for it.
I do, but I should learn the lesson from now that we shouldn't really have anything to fear from axes in the UK.
Well,
not yet.
Implosion.
Famous last words, but that's a little bit different circumstances when you've got your back to them all the time and you're not defending.
Yeah,
that's a bit different. When you're trying to move a crate.
I would like to fight Implosion at some point.
A proper 1v1, yes.
Yeah.
So there you go, Michael. There's an open challenge for you.
It's like obviously Eruption dealt with Jasper very fast, so
yes.
I don't want to deal with Eruption again. However, Ignition, Implosion, Michael, your other children, I will fight them. And once we fought them, then we'll go back to Eruption.
Then we'll go back.
Yes. There's a good point you raised there about Jasper being fairly modular in terms of even like the forks and stuff you can swap out, the arms you can swap out. Monsoon's also pretty modular, and so is Cobalt, as far as I could tell.
To a certain extent, Jasper's probably more modular than most robots. The robots like Cobalt, Monsoon. Yeah, Cobalt, they can change their weapon disc. They have a couple of different options.
Conveniently for them, they had 2 copies of Cobalt, and one had one disc on, one had the other disc on.
Yeah.
So they're just swapping, kind of thing, and then their front ends they're all bolt on.
Yeah. So the little floor compliant piano keys, they can change them out. They can put long.
As many on as they wanted.
Yeah, and they did go into the final fight with briefly piano keys all along the front. It didn't remain that way for very long. They soon got picked off and plucked and ricocheted around the arena very, very quickly by Deep Sea Shark. But overall, how would you rate your last event of 2025?
Well, considering I didn't think we'd go in the first, or even have an event in at the end of 2025, I was like, right, let's go. There's no pressure here because Jasper isn't expected to do well. Just send it at them, and if we completely have to rebuild the whole thing for 2026, that's just the way it's gonna be. And fortunately, with that competition having a decent monetary incentive, we knew if Jasper gets ripped apart round 1 and then gets ripped apart in losers bracket again, we could cover all of Jasper's repairs for the minimum prize fund, which was very reassuring. Fortunately, obviously, that didn't end up happening, and then Jasper goes on further than we thought it would. So I'm thinking one of the potential future investments, once we've repaired Jasper, is to get a proper PC set up and learn CAD and second heavyweight when.
You're not going to use cardboard?
No, I'm not going to use cardboard, and I'm not going to use a CAD program that's older than me.
Nothing wrong with that.
We're moving on. We're going to move on. We're going to have a new heavyweight. It's going to be a spinner, and it's going to be evil, and everyone should be afraid.
Don't worry, everybody. Jasper will live on. Jasper's going to continue.
Jasper's our sportsman boy. He's
Jasper's going nowhere anytime soon.
He's going to stick on the UK live scene. However, if there happened to be another spinner event that we did get invited to, either be in the States, maybe in America, if that comes back, or if elsewhere in the world, then I would be very much
Games of the Future 2026
potentially if they get their safety stuff all organised and just compliant and all that, then
and if we get an invite's an important bit as well. But Games of the Future is Kazakhstan this year. This year in the summer. Obviously, we, along with a number of other robots, will be looking forward to getting an invite to that. We hope. In the capital, Asana. I'm probably going to say that wrong. Asana. Something like that. Capital.
New robot potentially down the line. If not, Jasper's will get a bit of an overhaul to make him more resilient to the spinners. Maybe redesign those fork pods.
You know I want to run the big front end.
I know you do.
I want to run the big front end with the arm though, not with the claw. The claw might get an outing in the UK.
The claw's going to Dublin
like
just specifically to smash up fridges.
Well, there you go. That's worth seeing, just for itself. That's worth the ticket money to go to Dublin to see that.
Yeah.
It's like eventually I would like to take the TU to a UK event or Ireland, purely because one of the biggest differences between what was our experience at Games of the Future and every other sportsman event we've done is the downtime between fights at Games of the Future was hours.
Yeah.
Or it was like we had one fight a day. And it was like, there's a lot of downtime there. There was a lot of just kind of sitting about, especially with Jasper being in generally good condition, ready to go. The difference between Abu Dhabi and your UK sportsmen is we can fight multiple times a show, and then there's like 2 shows a day.
Yeah.
If we wanted to, you could probably get maybe
well, you normally
like
do
6 to 8 fights if you really.
You normally do 3 fights in a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you get as many 3 fights. All you have to do if it's
you can do as much as you want.
If it's a battery change and there's space on the whiteboard, or if they start fielding a rumble with more than
Well,
10
their
robots.
end of the show rumble has up to 8 usually.
Usually, apart from that one occasion.
Yeah.
Which we would like to see surpassed. We've got to go for 12.
Got to try and hit it.
Got to hit 12. You got to go for those numbers. Yeah.
So how much time do you have between fights generally?
Not long. Maybe
it's
half an hour at most. If we conveniently, if your first fight's at the start of the show, and then you've got one at the end of the show. The show's over 2 hours.
And you get an interval, and you might get a fight really early. You might get a second fight, a whiteboard one that's before the interval or just immediately after an interval, and then if you can turn it round again, get in for the end of show fight. So you can get 3, but then there's 2 days of that. And it's fine. It works when you've got multiple sets of batteries. You just swap out the batteries, leave them a bit of time for cooling down, charge them up again, or even better when you have 3 sets of batteries, like we normally do. When we go to events down in England and in Ireland, we take 3 sets, so it allows us to do an entire day. Three different fights, and if we're just basically changing tires, tire changes are pretty slick.
It's not F1 speed. Pardon
the pun, but pretty slick. But they don't take too long to do. The battery changes are really quick, and a quick tidy up at the front end. A little bit of grinder. Get the fork sharp again, so that we're tearing up the wooden floors.
To deal with all those brick flippers.
Yeah, exactly.
And so what happens if there is serious damage? You just have to run with it?
Oh, well, we've turned it round before.
The good thing about the sportsman stuff is, or with Mechmania now, you've got usually just one fight a weekend that matters. That's the one getting filmed for you. Here you go. And when we got to later in the tournament, the finals where it was round of 16, round of 8, round of 4.
Then you were turning it
Then it was we had one fight the first day, but then we had first fight was in show 1, second fight was in show 2, but then fights 3 and 4 were in show 3, which was the last one of the weekend.
Yeah, I see.
But with those are the ones that matter, and then we kind of plan our weekend around it. So say really conveniently, sometimes we get our fight that matters show 1, and it could be in the first half of that. So we throw Jasper in, and then after that it's kind of free reign to do whatever we want. So then we kind of aim to do at least 1 fight per show, but then preferably 1 fight before the break, 1 fight after the break, and then repeat that through the weekend. So you could potentially get up to 6 depending on the condition Jasper's in.
Right.
But say if Jasper did take damage, we could just go, we're not signing up for any whiteboard fights for this show. We'll have him back in one piece for the next one, kind of thing. There's no pressure to turn it around, which means you can do it right. There's no rushing and then you reassemble something wrong and then it leads to a bigger failure. There's no pressure for that. It's almost just for kind of fun, love of the game kind of thing.
That's a pretty nice format to do.
But then say if especially I think in 2024 where we were in a competitive position after say our 2 first qualifying fights getting knockout on max points, and then having the possibility of getting a 3rd knockout to completely maximize. It was I think our fight was in show 2, so we did nothing show 1 so Jasper was in absolute best condition it can be for show 2. We do that fight, and then after that it was just send it. We've got a month before the next event anyway to replace.
We can do another fight in the second show.
And it's it's a bit of adrenaline as well. It's once you go in your first fight, you immediately want to just get back in the arena. You've got some teams on the UK live scene where they've got multiple heavyweights. So it's Team Eruption. They have Eruption, but then they've got Implosion, and then sometimes they bring Ignition as well. There's like Team Shock with Tectonic, Manta, Poseidon, and they're all just really competitive robots. They can all win their fight, and they basically just rotate through the show. So it's like they'll do one fight with one robot, and then like maybe like a fight or two later, there's a second robot in, and then it rotates out, and then they put their third robot in, and then there's the break. So they recharge all the batteries and then put them in, and then there's 3 fights for them in this, like just the back half of the show for them. Which, insane. You know, carrying around that amount of heavyweights can't be good for your back, but love of the game, respect it. We'd love to do that if we had a bank account big enough. Unfortunately not, but you know, maybe someday.
Yeah, you never know.
In Games of the Future, was there a robot that you wanted to fight but didn't get to?
Several. I would have liked to go with Zadkill.
Yeah.
Just purely because I don't know how I would handle it.
Yeah, Zadkill's design is the most unique I've seen. I think it was crazy.
It's just Jasper can, like, we could get a hold of it, but it's how much damage would we take before we get that opportunity to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Is we've fought against their mini robot called Saint.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a similar-ish design, but the body's way bigger and it's got a sword instead of a spinner.
Cool.
There's they've got another robot called Gabriel, which is more it's just Zadkill with a sword. Like
Proper
big
big
wheels, the
sword.
body is far off the ground, massive sword.
When
And
it
I would
slams
love to. That's one
yeah.
of the robots I'm like sad I haven't got to fight on the UK scene yet. Like
That's because you were put on the same team.
yeah, that's when we were put on the same team for one of them, and then we haven't been drawn against each other since. But I would like to fight them, either Gabriel or Zadkill on the UK live scene. We could maybe do Zadkill on the UK scene. They run it at XR with their 125 limit.
Okay.
Yeah.
We found, or I was watching them at Games of the Future, they I think pushed it up to try get near the 250 mile an hour limit, but then it became like less reliable.
Yeah.
I would like to fight Prime Zadkill at 125 mile an hour, because 125 is no joke.
No.
It's,
Definitely.
especially when they're hitting you in places that you don't expect to be hit.
Yeah.
Like Jasper's
'Cause they
armor.
have that angle
Jasper's armor is all around the front. And then we've got a little bit we've added to the top to stop axes, but it would not stop a spinner.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of fun to see what would happen.
I think I'd have to make a modification especially for them.
There's
I'm not quite sure what I'm going to modify, but
Something
something. I would
special.
have to do something to try and counter it.
Yeah.
It'll give me something to think about.
There was 2 other robots I would have liked to fight. One of them was Sparkplug from Montenegro, because that was their first robot ever.
Yeah.
And there was also, it's a spinner.
Yeah.
So there's the threat there. However, it's almost a perfect shape for Jasper to counter. It's wide, it's flat, and there's a lot of ground clearance, like around the sides and back especially.
Yeah.
I would have loved to get an opportunity to fire Jasper's weapon in anger. Because we actually never got to do that against Cobalt or Monsoon. We got to fire it in a little celebratory wavy thing at Monsoon.
And a self-right.
And then Cobalt, the only time we got to fire it was self-righting.
Yeah.
So we never actually got to use the weapon for its actual purpose of, punting people. So Sparkplug would have been like just an ideal shape to like properly get under and get a proper throw.
Yeah.
And then also we were looking at the robot, and the top armor had like a Jasper sized hole to get to their receiver and like link setup.
Yeah.
And then the top armor I think was like just
Check
very thin checker plate. And we've got a spike on the back of one of Jasper's arms. That I was like looking at it going, we could maybe pierce that if we tried hard enough.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to fight them, because one, it's a new team, so no one's fought them yet. So getting to say, you're one of the first to fight them, that's cool. And then it also being a fight that I think, while no way an easy win, because that's spinner, if it catches you, you're done.
Yeah.
But
any team
it's an ideal opponent shape-wise, especially for Jasper to get to show off what it could do.
And TR4 did they got to in their redemption fight.
They fought Sparkplug. They managed to get it out of
They
over the wall.
do everything that we get to see week in, week out in the UK for a flipper, as take control and flip. and they just did exactly what.
With there only being one true UK flipper in the competition, or at least in the main competition, not counting Orion, a TR4 was the only brick flipper there, and it was nice to see it get what it just was designed to do,
flipper, as opposed to the front hinge flipper, which was
it won exactly as it's supposed to.
Yes,
and it's like what we're used to. However, we've never really gotten to see, especially in BattleBots and all that, what a UK flipper can do in a spinner dominated field. So it was nice to see them do what they're meant to do. I would like to prove that Jasper can also do what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
And another one I would have liked to fight. If you're gonna go for anyone, you got to go for the king. So like Godspeed, they won it last. They won it last time. That weapon is brutal.
How do you think that fight would have won?
Oh, badly. That would have gone awful. If you thought Cobalt did a number on the front end.
Yeah, aye.
It's going from Cobalt where they have to feed you into their weapon, and it's a very it's a vicious weapon. It's a very narrow point of attack in a way.
High up.
It was it's taking slices out of your armor. So it's putting holes in it. Godspeed, however, with such a wide weapon,
you are in the weapon.
Yeah,
before you know it. The weapon is so long and wide, and it's low,
wide, and the massive force you've got on it. The weapon's got a massive tooth. It's not that. They're more likely not just to take a hole out. They're probably gonna rip the entire.
The most important aspect. We're here for a
Godspeed did manage to flip back over. Oh! Godspeed came in with that boom!
Like, break the welds, rip it off.
No, I think you would have won.
Oh, yeah, sure. And we suplexed them.
I just suplexed them into
throw
the
them around.
into the Utah
They
zone.
Burst into flames, and it looked great. And
absolutely.
Bursting into flames
It burst
wasn't
into
a problem.
flames, and then I get to do an interview and say some kind of one-liner, and it's great. But we'll never know. So
no, we'll never know.
For the record, Jasper would win that fight, obviously, and definitely not get swept up off the arena floor. We'd fight them just to make sure the crate's lighter for coming back home.
Easier to pack. I wouldn't say lighter, but just easier to pack.
Well, you got a bin bag full of Jasper stuff.
Shoveling it in rather than carefully placing in an entire robot back into a crate. Yes, it would have been easier for packing, but yeah. Would you all do it again?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, that's it. We're all going to Kazakhstan.
I mean, if you want to prove what Jasper can do, is there any events you're looking forward to, especially?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to back onto the UK live scene, of course. We're not 100% sure what we're doing yet. We're waiting for Robots Live to put out their schedule. XR have put out their schedule. We're hoping to hopefully commit to Robots Live with their MechMania stuff, since that's what we've done the last couple years. But with Jasper being in still good condition, we have the spare parts now, because we pre-bought a lot of basically a spare set of Jasper's electronics before the competition, thinking that we would need them. Fortunately we didn't, so we got a full setup ready, like almost ready to just swap in if anything did fail this year. So we could potentially do some more events outside of Robots Live, so then maybe XR. Robo Riots I would love to go back to, but it's looking like your work schedule won't line up, unfortunately. Back to there for 2027 maybe.
I think 2027 for Ireland, thinking in the future, after obviously we compete in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, of course,
Gives the future again.
And you never know, there's Games of the Future 2077, which is earmarked for 4 different countries that are vying for it at the moment. The Uzbekistan, Serbia, South Africa, and Brazil.
I'd go Brazil. Brazil gets my vote for it. Like, just purely, I would
go
there
like
anyway.
Warm countries now.
I would go to. I would want to go to Brazil anyway. So, Games of the Future, if you are listening, go there, please.
Or any other place, as long as you invite Jasper.
Yeah,
just invite us. We're good. We're fun.
I like the idea of if it goes to Brazil, potentially if Minotaur got added to their field. There's a Brazilian robot called Minotaur, and it is a monster. It's like
Black Dragon as well.
It's like if you think Cobalt's like just such a good robot.
Uh-huh.
And then they lost to Minotaur.
Okay.
Minotaur versus Deep Sea Shark would be an incredible fight. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I'm sure after
It's
this...
two robots which are absolutely vicious in the weapon department, but then just both never die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, even when on
Like,
fire.
Minotaur's gone around the arena. It's got flames shooting out of it. It's like burning. It looks like it should be dying any second, and then it goes all the way to the judges anyway.
I see your flames. I don't care about it. Yes.
So yeah, a few UK events. If we get the opportunity to do something international again, that would be cool. Jasper would be ready to go for it. Potentially, there could be another. There could be another heavyweight, maybe, depending on funding and all that kind of stuff.
How long do you think it'll take to from going from designing to having one ready?
Depends if it's done old school or if you're gonna
get
your finger out and do a CAD.
Full CAD. Which would make the manufacture process a bit easier, because then you send all your files off to get professionally laser cut and all that.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't get to make them by hand.
I'm sorry. Honestly, you can weld them together.
Well, that works.
I trust your welds. Your welds held up.
All my welds held up. That's all I'm taking away from that.
But yeah, that would be cool. And then maybe other weight classes.
I've got a question for you, and a question amongst the entire group. Obviously, heavyweights is an area that we concentrate on, but there's a lot of other weight classes in the world and in the UK. Obviously, from just to a bit of context, lightest weight or lightest mainstream weight in the UK is 150 grams for an ant weight. And obviously you have some ant weights.
Yep.
What are your thoughts about possibly competing in other weight classes? Because there are other weight classes that do get a regular run out. Some of them get a run out with the heavyweights as well, which in
that's
that
kind
case,
of like a
it's
support class.
The featherweights are like a support race to sort of thing. What are your thoughts on that for going forward?
It's featherweight time.
Featherweight time.
Right, there's two main weight classes that I'm really interested in outside of heavyweights, and they would be the featherweight and then the beetleweight. Different reasons for both. The featherweights, really conveniently, they could go along with Jasper to I think pretty much every event we go to, bar XR, because Robotics do them, and so do Robots Live. So we get guaranteed fights with them, and if we come along with Jasper, there's no kind of having to travel out of our way kind of thing.
Yep.
And we hopefully design a sportsman better, because we couldn't run a spinner there anyway. It would be a good way to kind of enter the featherweight class with a sportsman. Kind of similar to Jasper in a way, 4-wheel drive lifter probably. And then eventually with a featherweight, I would like to design a spinner.
Yeah.
That spinner being a hammer saw. We've got some. We do have some hammer saw blades.
We do.
That have been pre-made. They're sitting in the garage now.
We've got quite a collection of parts.
Yeah. He wants to build a spinner. I want to build a spinner. Yes. Someday we'll end up with too many spinners, and then we'll
Is
be
there such a problem?
We'll complain about the damage that we've taken. Someday other people will complain about the damage we've done. Yeah. So it'll be nice to turn the table. It would be a fun way to enter that almost more competitive field with a spinner, and then kind of take the lessons learned from that and then apply it to a heavyweight eventually. Would be quite cool. Beetle weights, however, the only event really consistently running in Scotland at the moment is beetle weights, which is 1.5 kilos.
Okay.
So.
And what's the weight limit for featherweights?
13.6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with beetle weights, I prefer them a lot more over the ant weights personally, just from they're just easier to work on.
Yeah.
It's still a small weight class. You can just hold it in your hand. There's no big need for hauling half a workshop with you like we do with Jasper.
Yeah,
you could carry your beetle weight or even your featherweight around in a toolbox, and it's easy to take with you. Smaller, cheaper. parts are more expendable in a way.
Yeah.
You can
More easily
you could just straight swap your Beetleweight for a copy of itself if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Not that I think that's really in the spirit of things. I like to see people try and keep their main chassis going as long as possible, and then eventually it's like, oh yeah, that's written off. Move on to your second copy, kind of thing. Or that's personally how I like to do it with Jasper. Like, if Jasper did get written off now, we would try salvage the chassis, and if we don't, we've got a second set of frame at least ready to go, like to kind of swap it.
Now, having previously sort of broached this comment, sort of line of inquiries while we were out in Abu Dhabi or on the way back from Abu Dhabi, I did ask Varad and Marwin whether you would be interested, or have you maybe got an inkling or caught the bug now that you've actually got to witness and be at an event. Not putting you under any pressure at all. Not that this is recorded and then transmitted for perpetuity, in time, to be held against you, at future occasions. But has any of this sparked any intrigue from yourselves?
So much.
I
think just being in that environment and seeing everyone work on that stuff was genuinely quite inspiring. And like Mao and I have talked about this, we do want to start maybe our own little, like we might start with featherweight or beetle
like
class,
a smaller robot.
But that'd be so fun.
I would recommend the smaller weight classes personally.
Featherweight's what I'd go for. Like, you can come along with Jasper to like any of the events.
That's true.
And so hopefully we'd have our own featherweight. So compete against each other.
Yes.
And probably get destroyed.
But
we'd help you rebuild it.
Of course, and we'll learn from our mistakes and refine our design. But I think it'd be so fun. Like especially because I'm into like robotics and computing and stuff, so that side interests me. And then I also like working on like hardware stuff. My head's a bit dirty with the like physical components and stuff like that. So I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you should come along to the little mini workshop when we've made some room.
When you know how you did student formula, you were part of that, right?
Yeah.
There's do you think there could be a overlap between, say, a robot you make and trying to introduce some kind of autonomous side to it?
Absolutely. Like when I was there in the competition, that's all I could really think about because that's what my background is. But yeah, like stick a couple sensors on there. They'd have to be very well protected because if they go out, then your entire autonomous system is bust. Yeah. If you put like a very well protected camera on there, at least, I think at least it could very well be developed to a point where it is competitively driving autonomously and competitively fighting autonomously. Obviously, I don't have experience on the fighting side, so I don't know how like programmable that could be or how easily that would translate. So that's maybe more your expertise.
Maybe a couple, sort of like cameras with like lidar. Doing like an overlay where you've taken
some sort
multiple bits of information in order to kind of map the world that's in front or around or behind.
Yeah, and especially since you know what the arena is, you know what the specs are, you know what environment the robot's in, so that would make mapping and localizing a lot easier. And there's very strong technology in like computer vision to process like what the camera is seeing, so like the robot is there and then position that in the field, and I could go on about this, but I think it's definitely very possible.
I know it's possible because they did a project at my work where they were trying to introduce robots to go into places that you wouldn't necessarily want to put human in, and be able to negotiate stairs or ramps and go drive in amongst modules and being able to know where they are in the module, where the hazards are, obstacles, be able to overcome the obstacles, be able to do things like gas testing. So you'd have a robot that was built so that it was EXD, so that gas couldn't get into the electrical component parts and cause an explosion. So you could run a robot in hazardous atmospheres where there was gas present, and they can monitor or sense, or potentially one step up was to actually not only know their environment and be able to take readings or relay back information or visual or heat or using ultrasonics to pick up leaks, to hear a leak and pinpoint it, and then use cameras to actually figure out where the leak is, quantitative the size of it, to get the fugitive quantity of leakage.
Yeah.
Also being able to give a system the ability to possibly do simple operations like closing valves to stop a leak, where you don't actually have to put an individual or individuals into harm's way. So there is a crossover from from autonomous sort of robot side.
Yeah, there's been a couple of robots in America that have, especially that have kind of trying to bridge the gap between autonomous and real
Japan
life
as well.
fighting.
Wow.
Yeah.
With there was one robot that's been around a long time now. I think 2016 was the debut, the first time Chomp had some kind of autonomous side to it.
Yeah, this is
where there's a robot with a
America.
hammer.
Okay. Yeah.
And hammer, almost an ideal weapon to have an almost autonomous side to it, where the robot was driven by a person.
Yeah.
However, the hammer itself could tell when an opponent was in range.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
So
distance and in the right place.
Absolutely.
it's like reducing the
Yeah.
human error of misfiring
yeah.
or just being a bit trigger happy.
Because I did think of this, because even in the Games of the Future, there was teams with 2 people controlling the robot, one controlling the weapon and one driving. So I thought you could replace one with an autonomous system, like the weapon, for example, and have one person focusing entirely on the driving.
Next, there's
like
going to be complaints about people losing jobs because
Yeah.
Brad's getting rid of your job.
No.
You've been replaced with a computer.
They're going to replace me. It's got to get Jasper a better driver.
Well, it ain't going to be me. We've proven that in testing. That's why I don't drive.
The first time we took Jasper out to test drive it, we just did it in the driveway, and there's a nice garden wall, and I was just driving Jasper back up and down the driveway, like casual, not full throttle in it. And
I'm going.
and
Just take it easy. Take it easy. Don't damage it.
Going, take it easy. Don't damage it.
We've
just got it working. Yeah. Don't break it. And then he was like, "Oh, can I have a go?" So hand him the controller. Immediately full throttles it into the garden wall, leaving a nice green dot of paint on there.
Lovely.
And then he's like, "No, right, calm it down." Immediately does it again and again, and it's like, right. We've somehow there's an easy way of figuring out which of us was going to drive.
Well, we know who's driving and who's not driving, and I'll just
that's when we get
stick
2
to
feathers.
I'll stick to the bits. I've already had a go at driving another robot.
Right, no, we've got 3. We're going to get 3 feather weights. We're going to get myself to drive. We're going to get Katrina, my sister, to
Your
drive.
sister,
and then we're going to get you. And then obviously me and my sister will gang up on you and just immediately throw your robot out of the arena, and then we'll fight each other.
No,
and then Mao and Brad's robot are just sitting back chilling while we take each other out. And
we may as well sort out.
And then you clean sweep.
We may as well sort out a competition
we could
in
organise
Scotland.
something.
That's it. And at that point, you become not self-funding, but you're supporting in an event, and then you get other people to come along. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Underground robot battle ring.
Yeah. Can't wait.
We should gamble on that.
We should gamble on that.
No,
can I tell the podcast how much I love that?
No.
And now for our sponsor.
I'm gonna cut all this out. Okay. Just wary of time. As a last question to you guys. So the podcast is called Numbers Aren't Real, because I don't believe they are. And each of the episodes, they can be numbered whatever. So is there like a significant number for Jasper or anything like that you'd like this episode to be numbered?
I'd say we're on version 4. Episode number 4.
Yeah. Are we on version 4?
Oh, it depends. I can't count. So.
Do you whole numbers, or can you
numbers
go
is a loose concept.
Well,
what
they don't
is
exist.
a number?
So so they don't exist. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go 4.2.
Yeah, episode 4.2.
The meaning of Jasper.
Well, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, 4.2.
Fantastic. The meaning of Jasper. All right. Well, thank you very much to having one ready.
Depends if it's done old school or if you're gonna
get
your finger out and do a
CAD.
CAD.
Full CAD. which would make the manufacturing process a bit easier, because then you send all your files off to get professionally laser cut and all that.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't get to make them by hand.
I'm sorry. Honestly, you can weld them together.
Well, that works.
I trust your welds. They your welds held up.
All my welds held up. That's all I'm taking away from that.
But yeah, that'd be cool. And then maybe other weight classes.
I've got a question for you, and a question amongst the entire group. Obviously, heavyweights is an area that we concentrate on, but there's a lot of other weight classes in the world and in the UK. Obviously, from just to a bit of context, lightest weight or lightest mainstream weight in the UK is 150 grams for an ant weight. And obviously you have some ant weights.
Yep.
What are your thoughts about possibly competing in other weight classes? Because there are other weight classes that do get a regular run out. Some of them get a run out with the heavyweights as well, which in
it's
that
kind
case,
of like a support class.
Yeah, the featherweights are like a support race to sort of thing. What are your thoughts on that for going forward?
It's featherweight time.
Featherweight
right,
time.
There's two main weight classes that I'm really interested in outside of heavyweight, and they would be the featherweight and then the beetleweight. Different reasons for both. The featherweights, really conveniently, they could go along with Jasper to I think pretty much every event we go to, bar XR, because Robotics do them, and so do Robots Live. So we get guaranteed fights with them, and if we come along with Jasper, there's no kind of having to travel out of our way kind of thing. Yep. We hopefully design a sportsman better, because we couldn't run a spinner there anyway. It would be a good way to kind of enter the featherweight class with a sportsman. Kind of similar to Jasper in a way, 4-wheel drive lifter probably. And then eventually with a featherweight, I would like to design a spinner. Yeah. That spinner being a hammer saw. We've got some. We do have some hammer saw blades.
We do.
That have been pre-made. They're sitting in the garage now.
We've got quite a collection of parts.
Yeah. He wants to build a spinner. I want to build a spinner. Yes. Someday we'll end up with too many spinners, and then we'll
Is
be
there such a problem?
Really? We'll complain about the damage that we've taken. Someday other people will complain about the damage we've done. Yeah. So it'll be nice to turn the table. It would be a fun way to enter that almost more competitive field of spinner, and then kind of take the lessons learned from that and then apply it to a heavyweight eventually. Would be quite cool. Beetleweights, however, the only event really consistently running in Scotland at the moment is Beetleweights, which is 1.5 kilos.
Okay.
So.
And what's the weight limit for featherweights?
13.6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with Beetleweights, I prefer them a lot more over the ant weights personally, just from they're just easier to work on. Yeah. It's still a small weight class. You can just hold it in your hand. There's no big need for hauling half a workshop with you like we do with Jasper.
Yeah,
you could carry your beetleweight or even your featherweight around in a toolbox, and it's easy to take with you. It's smaller, cheaper. Parts are more expendable in a way.
Yeah.
You could just straight swap your beetleweight for a copy of itself if you really wanted to. Not that I think that's really in the spirit of things. I like to see people try and keep their main chassis going as long as possible, and then eventually it's that's written off. Move on to your second copy kind of thing. Or that's personally how I like to do it with Jasper. If Jasper did get written off now, we would try salvage the chassis, and if we don't, we've got a second set of frame at least ready to go, to kind of swap in.
Now, having previously sort of broached this comment, sort of line of inquiries while we were out in Abu Dhabi or on the way back from Abu Dhabi, I did ask Varad and Marwin whether you would be interested, or have you maybe got an inkling or caught the bug now that you've actually got to witness and be at an event. not putting you under any pressure at all. Not that this is recorded and then transmitted for perpetuity, in time, to be held against you, at future occasions. But has any of this sparked any intrigue from yourselves?
So much.
I think so, yeah.
I think just being in that environment and seeing everyone work on that stuff was genuinely quite inspiring. And like Mao and I have talked about this, we do want to start maybe our own little, like we might start with featherweight or beetle
like
class,
a smaller robot.
But that'd be so fun.
I would recommend the smaller weight classes personally.
Featherweight's what I'd go for. Like, you can come along with Jasper to like any of the events.
That's true.
And so hopefully we'd have our own featherweight. So compete against each other.
Yes.
And probably get destroyed.
But
we'd help you rebuild it.
Of course. And we'll learn from our mistakes and refine our design. But I think it'd be so fun. Like especially because I'm into like robotics and computing and stuff, so that side interests me. And then I also like working on like hardware stuff. My head's a bit dirty with the like physical components and stuff like that. So I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you should come along to the little mini workshop when we've made some room.
When you know how you did student formula, you were part of that, right?
Yeah.
There's do you think there could be a overlap between, say, a robot you make and trying to introduce some kind of autonomous side to it?
Absolutely. Like when I was there in the competition, that's all I could really think about because that's what my background is. But yeah, like stick a couple sensors on there. They'd have to be very well protected because if they go out, then your entire autonomous system is bust. Yeah. If you put like a very well protected camera on there, at least, I think at least it could very well be developed to a point where it is competitively driving autonomously and competitively fighting autonomously. Obviously, I don't have experience on the fighting side, so I don't know how like programmable that could be or how easily that would translate. So that's maybe more your expertise.
Maybe a couple, sort of like cameras with like lidar.
Camera
lidar doing like an overlay where you've taken
some sort
multiple bits of information in order to kind of map the world that's in front or around or behind.
Yeah, and especially since you know what the arena is, you know what the specs are, you know what environment the robot's in, so that would make mapping and localizing a lot easier. And there's very strong technology in like computer vision to process like what the camera is seeing. So like the robot is there and then position that in the field. And I could go on about this, but I think it's definitely very possible.
I know it's possible because they did a project at my work where they were trying to introduce robots to go into places that you wouldn't necessarily want to put a human in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be able to negotiate stairs or ramps and drive in amongst modules and being able to know where they are in the module, where the hazards are, obstacles, be able to overcome the obstacles, be able to do things like gas testing. So you'd have a robot that was built so that it was EXD, so that gas couldn't get into the electrical component parts and cause an explosion. So you could run a robot in hazardous atmospheres where there was gas present, and they can monitor or sense, or potentially one step up was to actually not only know their environment and be able to take readings or relay back information or visual or heat or using ultrasonics to pick up leaks, to hear a leak and pinpoint it, and then use cameras to actually figure out where the leak is, quantitative the size of it, to get the fugitive quantity of leakage. Also being able to give a system the ability to possibly do simple operations like closing valves to stop a leak, where you don't actually have to put an individual or individuals into harm's way. So there is a crossover from from autonomous sort of robot side.
Yeah, there's been a couple of robots in America that have, especially that have kind of trying to bridge the gap between autonomous and
and
real
Japan as well.
Fighting.
Wow.
Yeah.
With there's one robot that's been around a long time now. I think 2016 was the debut, the first time Chomp had some kind of autonomous side to it.
Yeah, this is
where there's a robot with a hammer.
Okay. Yeah.
And hammer, almost an ideal weapon to have an almost autonomous side to it, where the robot was driven by a person.
Yeah.
However, the hammer itself could tell when an opponent was in range.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
So
distance and in the right place.
It's like reducing the human error of misfiring it or just being a bit trigger happy.
Because I did think of this, because even in the Games of the Future, there was teams with 2 people controlling the robot, one controlling the weapon and one driving. So I thought you could replace one with an autonomous system like the weapon, for example, and have one person focusing entirely on the driving.
Next, there's going to be complaints about people losing jobs because Brad's getting rid of your jobs. No. You've been replaced by a computer.
They're going to replace me. It's got to get Jasper a better driver.
Well, it ain't going to be me. We've proven that in testing. That's why I don't drive.
The first time we took Jasper out to test drive it, we just did it in the driveway, and there's a nice garden wall, and I was just driving Jasper back up and down the driveway, like casual, not full throttle in it. And
I'm going.
And
just take it easy. Take it easy. Don't damage it.
Going, take it easy. Don't damage it. We've just got it working. Yeah. Don't break it. And then he was like, "Oh, can I have a go?" So I handed the controller. Immediately full throttles it into the garden wall, leaving a nice green dot of paint on there.
Lovely.
And then it's like, no, right, calm it down. Immediately does it again and again, and it's like, right, we've somehow there's an easy way of figuring out which of us was going to drive.
Well, we know who's driving and who's not driving, and I'll just
that's when we get 2 feathers.
I'll stick to the bits. I've already had a go at driving a robot.
Right, no, we've got 3. We're going to get 3 featherweights. We're going to get myself to drive. We're going to get Katrina, my sister, to drive.
Your sister,
and then we're going to get you. And then obviously me and my sister will gang up on you and just immediately throw your robot out of the arena, and then we'll fight each other. And then Mal and Brad's robot are just sitting back chilling while we take each other out. And
we may as well sort out
and then you clean sweep.
We may as well sort out a competition
we could organise something.
That's it. And at that point, you become not self-funding, but you're supporting in an event, and then you get other people to come along. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Underground robot battle ring.
Yeah. Can't wait.
We should gamble on that.
We should gamble on that.
No, we should.
Can I tell the podcast how much I love that?
No.
And now for our sponsor. I'm going to cut all this out.
Okay.
Wary of time. As a last question to you guys. So the podcast is called Numbers Aren't Real, because I don't believe they are. And each of the episodes, they can be numbered whatever. So is there like a significant number for Jasper or anything like that you'd like this episode to be numbered?
I'd say we're on version 4. Episode number 4.
Yeah. Are we on version 4?
Oh, it depends. I can't count. So.
Do you whole numbers, or can you
numbers is a loose concept?
Well, they don't exist. So so they don't exist. So I'm gonna go 4.2.
Yeah, episode 4.2.
The meaning of Jasper.
Well, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, 4.2.
Fantastic. The meaning of Jasper. All right. Well, thank you very much.